So the country welcomes an additional 3.2 million COVID-19 vaccines on Thursday. 1 million doses came from Sinovac and another 2.2 million doses from Pfizer. The latest shipment increases the total number of vaccines received to 12 million. Despite delays and shortage in global supply, can we still meet our vaccination target? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson. Senator Lacson, good to have you on the source. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Yeah, good morning, Pinky, and thank you for the invitation.
Anytime, sir. So your tweet was this: the best way out of this pandemic is for our people to get the job done and our government to get the job done. So 6 million vaccinated so far, about 4.5 million received their first dose, 1.6 million received both doses. Is the government doing its job so far?
Well, it's like this, Pinky. The private sector has not come in yet, no? The local government, very limited pa. Remember, yung private sector and the local government units ordered 20 million doses of Moderna. And these vaccines are due to arrive on or after June 25, I think. Yun ang latest information as of last night. Because last night we had this quite a regular meeting or consultation with the members of the IATF, the officials, Secretary Galvez, Secretary Vince Dizon, Mayor Magalong. Unfortunately, Secretary Galvez did not make it. Nagpasabi last minute because he was to be on hand to receive the additional 3 million vaccines, Sinovac, as you mentioned, and Pfizer. So dalawa yung nandun, and we had a good discussion moving forward.
And tell us more about that discussion, sir.
Yes, they're very optimistic na they will accelerate the pace of their vaccination program. It's like this because marami dynamics din do sa kanilang meetings sa IATF pati sa NTF. Why? Because as usual, collegial body and discussion, merong hawks, merong doves. And alam naman natin ng demeanor ni Secretary Galvez. He is too patient and sometimes to a fault. Sometimes patience is not a virtue at all pagdating sa emergency situations. And it's good enough na nando naman yung it's good that Secretary Vince Dizon and Mayor Magalong are there to assist him and support him. Mm-hmm. So it's always a clash between the health officials, of course led by Secretary Duque, and these young officials, two from the military, former military personnel, and of course Vince Dizon, who himself is a dynamic, dynamic and progressive personality, di ba?
Yeah.
So ganun ang situation. And pagdating nung, remember there's this controversy about the Nayong Filipino, Filipino diyan sa Macapagal. Ang sinasabi nila last night, once na-activate yun, it will be activated this August. Matatapos yung construction and all. It will just, doon sa area lang na yon, they're expecting 20,000. Kasi 8,000 from one side and at the other end, doon sa Nayong Filipino, another 12,000. So isang effort lang yon ng isang business sector or private private company, nasa 20,000 na. And then yung local government units, sometimes namumroblema sila. For example, yung indigents na kailangan mabakunahan kasi nag-announce na rito si Presidente Duterte na bigyan ng priority mga indigents. So ang gagawing reference na naman, yung SAP. Remember, nagkagulo-gulo itong SAP because ang ginamit na datos dito, 2015 2016 data ng DSWD. So people who were listed in 2016 as having no jobs, nagkaroon ng trabaho. Minsan sabi nga nila, nakikita ng mga local government officials, konkreto na yung bahay. Meaning, umasenso yung buhay. Yung iba naman, maayos ng pamumuhay noong 2015, well, naghirap naman itong pagdating ng panahon na ito. So jobless. So pagdating sa local level, Ito yung problema ng mga barangay chairman, mga mayors, kasi sila yung now-open sa charges, criminal complaints. Kasi pag hindi mo na sinunod yung listahan at marami nagrereklamo, sometimes they take it upon themselves to just make adjustments. And they don't follow the list.
Okay.
So, ang nangyayari, kinakasuhan sila ng graph, ng graph na cases kasi nga, nakalista, bakit hindi binigyan? So, ito yung mga naging problema that they are trying to resolve. And I think they have found a solution to address that particular problem or situation or issue. So, yun yung mga napag-uusapan na, and many more, kasi for example, they have improved on itong queuing. Dati kasi, ang haba ng pila and then ang dami pang rekotitos bago finally mabakunahan. For example, kukunan ka pa ng blood pressure and natatakot yung, kasi baka raw high blood. Kaya nga nagpunta doon, minsan, di ba, kaya nga tinawag na comorbidities, kasi may mga hypertension yun eh. Bakit kailangan pang kunan mo isa-isa ng blood pressure? Minsan natatakot sila kasi basa-basa pa raw yung ininalagay sa braso. So yung iba umaatras. So ito yung mga issues that they're trying to resolve and with the health officials, with Secretary Duque. And sige, Pinky.
Senator Ping, in fact, there's a lot that you said that I wanted to raise points. No, from what I remember, balikan ko lang po tong pagkuha ng blood pressure. You were the one who already said, do away with that. Kasi pinagpapasahan po itong equipment na ginagamit po sa pagkuha ng blood pressure. Pwede pa nga yan maging puntos ng paghawak mula from one person to another. That's one. But I wanted to go back to what you said earlier. Secretary Galvez is so patient to a fault. So yung pagiging too patient po niya to a fault, ano ho naging problema doon?
Well, kasi hindi masyado nag-assert, And of course, siguro part ng training namin din yan na masyadong deferring sa mga superiors. So, and he considers Secretary Duque as a superior officer or official, Dahil kaya minsan pagka nagdi-discussion, hindi siya masyado nag-assert. And hindi naman nakukuha yung point. And since it's a collegial body, ito yung nag-gather namin sa discussion kagabi. And we urge them, Senate President Sota and I, of course, Senator Bato de la Rosa was also present. Sinabihan na, hindi, labanan nyo na lang. Minsan, kung malila, i-defy nyo na lang para mapadali. Because it's very important that our people will trust the vaccines. Kasi kung ganyan ang nangyayari, kaya nga sabi natin, yung mga tao should get the job done. Yung gobyerno must get the job done. Di ba? Dahil kung nakita ng mga tao na medyo may mga shortcomings o kaya may mga mali, may mga gaps or lapses on the part of the government, how could you increase or improve yung trust ng tao sa vaccines? And it's very important, Kaya nga tayo, we should laud itong mga young leaders natin, particularly in Metro Manila and elsewhere. According to Secretary Dizon last night, yung San Juan could be the first city in Metro Manila or in the whole country to achieve the 70% target para sa herd community. And it is a good testimony do sa effort ni Mayor Francis Zamora. Of course, Mayor Vico Soto is always on top of the situation. Mayor Isko is doing his job very well. And of course, even Congresswoman Camille Villar, yung innovation niya to motivate or incentivize by doing some raffles, house and lot. Sino hindi maengganyo na magpabakuna kung pwede ka manalo ng house and lot? So these are, young, dynamic, and progressive thinking local officials that we need more than the old traditional, parang sabihin nating luma na yung utak na ayaw lumihis do sa mga traditional procedures or processes.
Senator Ping, sino ho yung old, traditional, luma na yung utak? Yun ho ba are you referring to? I mean, let's be frank.
No need to mention. Kasi nga kaya nagkakaroon ng gaps, diba? Kaya may dropping of the ball. Tapos ngayon may mga maraming nawala ng second dose. kasi nga nagamit sa first dose, tapos merong 113 yata thousand na naghihintay ng second dose. Anyway, that could be settled with the arrival of fresh arrival of vaccines, yung Sinovac 1 million and another 2.2 million ng Pfizer. So I think that can be resolved. But may delay doon sa yung time gap between the first and the second dose.
Senator Ping, ang sabi niyo po, they need to assert, kasi it's a collegial body. And parang ang pakiramdam po ni Secretary Galvez ay mas mataas o boss po niya si Secretary Duque. Exactly what are you talking? Exactly what are you talking about? That they have to assert more, especially si Secretary Galvez. Alin ho doon ang kailangan niyang i-assert pa yung sarili niya?
Well,
saan doon sa proseso?
As the vaccine czar, di ba? Kaya nga may task allocation eh. Sa amin sa military, pag binigyan ka ng task allocation, yun yung sphere of influence mo eh. Kaya nga kagabi, unfortunately, wala nga siya doon. Because I wanted to ask him, how much power do you have in making decisions as far as the vaccination program is concerned? Because you have been designated as the vaccine czar. Si Secretary Vince Dizon is the testing czar. Of course, Mayor Magalong is the contact tracing czar. So marami tayong SARS. Dapat kanya-kanyang, sabihin na natin, kanya-kanyang baluarte. But ang nangyayari, sometimes, pagka yung na-overwhelm ng, of course, these are medical parang terms na ginagamit, yung mga technical, na hindi naman nila masyadong about. So ang nangyayari, and I witnessed that this firsthand because in one of our meetings, Secretary Duque was also present because he was invited and he was gracious enough to join our meeting. So, kumpleto kami doon. And nakita ko yung demeanor ni Secretary Galvez, how he would defer to Secretary Duque. So, ang problema, nakikita namin problema, meron din mga undersecretary sa health, na nalalampasan din pagdating sa consultations. And I think si Secretary Duque has a pool of consultants that are not even part of that, sabihin natin, chain of command. So, siyempre, meron siyang consultants, mas may na-influensya noong advice noong kanyang mga consultants. So, nasisira yung structure. So, ito yung isang observation na dapat siguro makorek. And we advised them last night to be more assertive in, kung alam nilang ito yung tama. Sabi nga ni Senate President Soto, i-define nyo na lang. Kasi for the sake of the whole vaccination program, for the sake of our people, na kailangan talaga mabakunahan at na-enmesh pa tayo sa ganyan mga problema, do away with that. And kasi pagka pencil pushing, theoretical eh. Ang nabanggit niya, I won't mention anymore kung sino yung nagsabi, hindi na lumalabas ng bahay yung mga ibang doktor na nag-a-advise. Nandun lang lagi sa harap ng computer. Iba yung harap ng computer, iba yung nandun ka sa ground. And the mayors, yung mga local government officials, sila yung nasa ground. And they can more appreciate more kung ano yung situation obtaining in the ground.
Of course,
so mas important on the ground. So importanteng sila yung bigyan ng flexibility, more autonomy in the implementation of the vaccination program.
Okay, Senator Ping, I need to go on a break, but I need to ask you this question. Very brief answer, sir. Ang sabi niyo po, sabi ni Senate President Tito Soto, kung ganun, i-define niyo na lang. Just tell me, ano nga ba yun? Give me an example, ano ba yung dapat i-define na lang?
For example, yung mga protocols, yung A1, A2, A3, A4. Pagdating sa A4, meron pang A41, A42, nakapila na yung tao dahil nagkataong 39 years old, kailangan magsimula. Ito, halimbawa lang. Nagsimula ng halimbawa, 40 to 59 years old. Meron dumating doong 39 years old. Palalayasin mo pa ba yun? Nakapila na. Wala naman yung hinihintay mong 40 years old or 59 years old.
Okay.
Kung susundin yung protocol ng DOH, itataboy mo yun. Umuwi ka, hindi ka kasali rito. But they, sila na nagde-decide on the ground. O sige, bakunahan nyo na yan kasi naandyan na yan. Anyway, the vaccines are for all Filipinos.
You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Senator Panfilo Lacson. Senator Lacson, magkakaroon ho ba ng Senate Committee of the Whole meeting dahil dito sa vaccine budget, which is at more or less 82 billion pesos? Ang basa ko po, 70 billion will actually go for procurement, will go to rather procurement, and 12 billion logistics and other issues. Ano po? Number one, magkakaroon ho ba ng Senate Committee of the Whole meeting?
That is correct. The Senate President already served notice to the senators as well as those to be invited. Now, on Tuesday, we're going to hold a Senate Committee of the Whole meeting or hearing. Kasi we heard na si Secretary Abisado was asking for 25 billion pesos more. Meron ng available na 82.5. Now, doing simple math, hindi na muna yung mga logistics kasi nakabukod naman yun saka administrative cost. So kung 82.5 plus another 25, that's 107.5. Assuming lang natin na puro Sinovac yung bibilin at 683 or 670 pesos per dose. So pag binilang mo yun, yung 107.5 billion, that's 157 million doses already more. So more than to achieve the herd immunity of 70 million Filipinos. Now, assuming naman na puro Moderna yon, ang Moderna kasi 1,383 kasi $26.83. So i-convert natin sa peso, that's 1,383. So kung i-divide mo yon doon sa 107.5 billion pesos, medyo napakalaki rin, nasa mga 83 million. So divided by 2, nasa mga 40 plus. Now, i-count mo pa doon yung private sector. Nag-order sila ng 20 million along with the local government units. Kasi 7 million yung private sector, 13 million yung LGUs. That's another 20 million doses. Ibilang pa uli natin yung sa COVAX facility that would donate quite a substantial quantity of vaccines. Yung nagkaroon kami ng Committee of the Hearing noon, ang sabi ng country representative ng WHO sa Pilipinas, 44 million doses ang nakalaan para sa Pilipinas. So pagsama-sama mo yon, parang sobra-sobra na. So we want to find out and we want also to keep track kung ano na yung progress ng vaccination natin. Ilan na ba yung nabili natin? Magkano yung nailagay natin as down payment? Tapos ilan pa talaga yung kailangan? And that's part of our oversight function ng Kongreso and in this particular case, the Senate. Because we want to be briefed also. Because kami rin naman yung nag-appropriate, di ba? Nagpasa ng budget. And nasa batas naman yan na we need to be informed kung paano ginagastos yung budget.
So it's important, obviously, for the senators to find out the progress of the vaccination procurement, which you will hopefully find out on Tuesday when you convene the Senate Committee of the Whole. Again, we need to take a very short break. We will be right back.